resigns after implying ice fishing causes prostitution.
Plus, how the Athens community showed up to support Joe Burrow.
And how to keep your heart healthy this Valentine's Day. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Olivia Roman.
And I'm Andre Norals. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. The Hudson mayor who linked ice fishing to prostitution is resigning. Hudson Mayor Craig Schubert released a resignation letter to announce him stepping down from the position. Schubert made the comments on Tuesday during the city council meeting, which caught the international attention. In the release, he says, quote, My attempt to inject a bit of dry humor to make a point about this in the midst of a cold, snowy February was grossly misunderstood, end quote. The mayor also said his community says this is an opportunity to engage in personal destruction through character assassination. The Hudson Council President Chris Foster responded in a release thanking Schubert for his time as mayor and wished him the best of his future. Another prisoner is being removed from death row in Ohio. Governor Mike DeWine signed the Ohio law prohibiting the execution of people severely mentally ill at the time of their crime last year. It covers killers diagnosed with schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, bipolar disorder, or delusional disorder. Last month, a Stark County judge found that death row inmate, David Sneed, suffered from schizoaffective disorder, when he shot a man in 1984. Sneed was sentenced to life without parole. Last year, judges removed inmates in Butler and Franklin counties from death row after their attorneys successfully argued they met criteria. A judge in Kentucky says he's looking to rule quickly on motions in a lawsuit about redistricting. During Thursday's hearing before Franklin Circuit Judge Thomas Wingate, Kentucky Democrats are looking to block a Republican-drawn congressional and state house district maps. Attorneys for Democrats are arguing that the new state house maps splits counties too many times and said the maps are, quote, extreme partisan gerrymandering, end quote. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron says the motions should be dismissed, saying that changing the maps would cause chaos.
Good evening, I'm forecaster Cole Patterson, and tonight we're going to experience some lovely conditions, although it will be quite bitter outside. We will have a low of 15 tonight. Like I said, clear skies, bitter temperatures, so if you're heading out, be sure to grab a jacket and bundle up because it will be a cold one. We'll have nice calm winds though, so thankfully we don't have to deal with any wind chill. Across the region, we're going to see very similar temperatures, 15 in Athens. Down to the south a little bit, it's going to be a little bit warmer, 18 in Ironton, but colder up to the north. We have 14 in Columbus and 12 in Newark. Clear conditions across the region though. But this week ahead, enjoy these clear conditions now because we're going to have a high near 60 on Wednesday, rain returning on Thursday, but we'll have lots of sun this weekend. We're also going to have some warm temperatures on Thursday. I'll have more about that in my full forecast, but for now, back to Olivia.
Thank you, Cole. President Joe Biden will make his second trip to Northeast Ohio in less than a year on Thursday. The president plans on making stops in Cleveland and Lorain to discuss the $1 trillion infrastructure law he signed last November. The package provides $10 billion to highway funding, plus $33 billion in competitive grant funding for highways. Additionally, funds $60 billion for state and local government to fund major projects and $1 billion for the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. The U.S. is closing its embassy in Kyiv.
Last night, the Cincinnati Bengals, led by Athens native Joe Burrow, fell short of capture. I thought that...
Fans were chanting. chanting and cheering. From the church the Burrow family attended to the plains, residents rallied in support of the Cincinnati Bengals and hometown hero Joe Burrow. Jim Strickland hosted a watch party alongside family and friends at Eclipse. He says the passion people have here for the quarterback is unmistakable.
It doesn't matter who you root for. Everybody in Athens County is rooting for Joe Burrow, whether they're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan or a Cleveland Brown fan. Today, they're all Bengals fans. They're all rooting for Joe Burrow.
Burrow attire was everywhere. Matt Yinger, a lifelong Bengals fan, said he knew Burrow would be a sensation in the region as soon as the Bengals picked him at number 1 in 2020.
So I told my wife and my kids, and we're all Bengals fans in my house, I said, you watch. I said, Athens County will be, the Bengals jerseys will be selling out, and you'll see them everywhere now.
In Albany, Christ Community Wesleyan Church had everyone from infants to grandparents gathered to watch the game and even held a Burrow-themed trivia game at halftime. Dusty Thomas says it's not the first time, or the last, they will celebrate a big game involving Burrow together.
This is fun to do this. We've had a couple other watch parties when Joe was at LSU and playing in the national championship. We had a couple of watch parties then, and we were having a lot of fun here.
And even though the Bengals didn't take home the trophy this time, you can be sure Athens County will be having fun, watching and cheering their hometown hero next season. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Will Price in Athens.
Burrow took to Twitter after the game to express his gratitude to his teammates and supporters, saying, quote, "Sorry we couldn't get it done. Proud of our team and our fans."
President Joe Biden will make his second trip to Northeast Ohio in less than a year on Thursday. The president plans on making stops in Cleveland and Lorain to discuss the $1 trillion infrastructure law he signed last November. The package provides $10 billion to highway funding plus $33 billion in competitive grant funding for highways. Additionally funds $60 billion for state and local governments to fund major projects and $1 billion for the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. The U.S. is closing its embassy in Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, amid rising tensions of a Russian invasion. Officials previously ordered U.S. employees in the country to leave, but a small group of diplomatic professionals remained in Kyiv. Those workers will be relocated to Lviv, which is in western Ukraine, further away from where Russian troops are amassing on the country's borders. The State Department says the decision was made to protect their safety as the situation deteriorates.
We are basing our assessment on what we are seeing on the ground with our own eyes, which is a continued and unprovoked Russian buildup on the border with Ukraine and no accompanying evidence of de-escalation.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he still hopes to resolve the dispute diplomatically. The situation on the Ukrainian border is causing problem on the agricultural market. Russia is the world's top exporter of wheat, while Ukraine is a significant exporter of both wheat and corn. Investors are assessing the potential for conflict amid concern over Russia's imminent invasion of Ukraine. Some worry interference in shipments of wheat or corn could make food inflation even worse, as global food prices are already close to 10-year highs. The cost of food around the globe jumped by as much as 28% in 2021 and is expected to continue to climb this year. The autopsy results for a man who prompted a nationwide manhunt for his dead fiancée have been released. 5 ways to improve your heart health this Valentine's Day. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Here in southern England, the remains of Ice Age mammoths have just been discovered. Why were the mammoths here? Could ancient humans have hunted them?
It's like a really big whodunit. It's exciting.
What can this remarkable site reveal about life and death deep in the Ice Age?
The end of the story isn't completely tragic.
Great Mammoth Mystery on Nova.
This is the inside story of the royal family's 5-star regal luxury in the clouds.
It was like no other travel.
All Kate's dresses had their own seat.
Charles will have 3 valets.
Whether by private jet...
She's been round the world 42 times.
...or helicopter.
The boys knew where the sweets were kept.
Our royals like to travel in comfort.
No airport queuing for them.
Join us as we take to the air with the royals.
On Greta Thunberg, a year to change the world as the global pandemic emerges.
I have contracted the coronavirus.
Greta sees technology as only a partial solution to climate change.
We have lots of solutions. The problem is time.
And she shows how personal choices can make a big difference.
We cannot fight climate change without individual change, the way we behave, the way we consume.
Greta Thunberg, a year to change the world.
Lace up those sneakers and hit the hardwood, because Hardwood Heroes is back. Every Sunday night, we are bringing you the best basketball that the Tri-Valley Conference has to offer. Who will sit atop the TVC Ohio and TVC Hawking? Find out when you tune into WOUB Sunday nights at 11 and Monday nights at 6. And throughout the week, follow along on social media for scores, highlights, and more. We're excited to see you back on the courts, and as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.
Police in Kentucky have detained a suspect in what Louisville City Council president is calling an assassination attempt. Law enforcement officials have not labeled it as such, but a person did walk into mayoral candidate Greg Greensburg's office and fire multiple shots at him. He wasn't hit and there were no injuries, but one bullet did hit Greensburg's clothes. Police believe he was targeted in the attack. Investigators have not yet determined a motive. It all happened at about 10 a.m. Monday morning. It's been 4 years since the tragic shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. The shooting that left 17 students and faculty dead. The father of the student killed that day has since become a vocal advocate for gun reform. He's now pressuring the Biden administration with a coalition of advocacy groups. Daryl Forges has the details.
Valentine's Day is more than a Hallmark holiday for the Parkland, Florida community. It's a constant reminder of loss. 4 years ago, a gunman killed 17 students and faculty members at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Words cannot express the tremendous grief our students, employees, families, school district, and community have experienced.
The superintendent of Broward County Public Schools leading a moment of silence
Montalto.
and reading of the names of the victims.
Joaquin Oliver.
Early Monday morning, Manuel Oliver, the father of one of the victims, 17-year-old Joaquin Oliver, climbed a crane near the White House to deliver a message to President Joe Biden, unfurling a banner that read, 45,000 people died from gun violence on your watch.
Manuel, still Joaquin's dad, he's representing Joaquin in a way to be heard.
D.C. police say 3 people were arrested after the demonstration. Several advocacy groups, including one founded by the Olivers, rallied outside the White House Monday, urging President Biden to take more aggressive action on gun reform.
And the fact that they haven't done everything and anything in their power is unacceptable.
The rally in D.C. kick-started the launch of an online tool called Shock Market to track every incident of gun violence since the president took office. I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
The president said in a tweet today that the White House mourns, quote, the Parkland families whose lives were upended and stand with those working to end the epidemic of gun violence. Congress must act, end quote.
How smoking and watching your numbers can protect your heart health. That story's still ahead.
We'll have some warm conditions later this week before rain returns later on. I'll have more on my full forecast, but for now, here's stocks of local interest.
On Greta Thunberg, a year to change the world as the global pandemic emerges.
I have contracted the coronavirus.
Greta sees technology as only a partial solution to climate change.
We have lots of solutions. The problem is time.
and she shows how personal choices can make a big difference.
We cannot fight climate change without individual change, the way we behave, the way we consume.
Greta Thunberg, a year to change the world.
This is the largest movement of living things on Earth. And every predator in these waters knows it. It's a mass migration of sardines. Why they gather is a mystery. But the result is a feast that will sustain an entire coastline of creatures.
Here in southern England, the remains of Ice Age mammoths have just been discovered. Why were the mammoths here? Could ancient humans have hunted them?
It's like a really big whodunit. It's exciting.
What can this remarkable site reveal about life and death deep in the Ice Age?
The end of the story isn't completely tragic.
Great Mammoth Mystery on Nova.
Lace up those sneakers and hit the hardwood, because Hardwood Heroes is back. Every Sunday night, we are bringing you the best basketball that the Tri-Valley Conference has to offer. Who will sit atop the TVC Ohio and TVC Hawking? Find out when you tune into WOUB Sunday nights at 11 and Monday nights at 6. And throughout the week, follow along on social media for scores, highlights, and more. We're excited to see you back on the courts, and as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.
Good evening, I'm forecaster Cole Patterson, and tonight we are going to experience some bitter cold temperatures, a low of 15 in fact, but we'll have some clear skies. We'll have bitter temperatures like I said, but we're also going to have calm winds, so that'll make for lovely conditions. Hour by hour, if you look over here, we're going to start off at 22 at 8 p.m. Clear skies throughout the whole night. Those temperatures are going to gradually drop throughout the night as well, hitting 20 at 10 p.m. and 18 at midnight. 15 degrees will be the low tonight with those clear skies and bitter temperatures that I just mentioned and calm winds, so be sure to bundle up if you're going out tonight. Across the region, we're going to experience very similar temperatures, 15 in Athens, but a little bit warmer down to the south, 18 in Ironton, 14 in Columbus, and 12 in Newark. Clear conditions across the entire region. We're also going to, if you look at the radar over here, we have very clear conditions throughout the entire middle or eastern region. We have very clear skies, but that will change very quickly as we will have rain later in the week. Hour by hour to start your morning off, these temperatures are going to rise a lot faster in the morning than they are dropping tonight. We're going to start off at 17 at 8 a.m., rising to 27 at 10 a.m., and 34 degrees by noon. We're going to experience lots of sunshine tomorrow and lots of sunshine the next day as well before that rain will come on Thursday. We'll experience a high of 42 tomorrow, calm conditions and uneventful, very similar to what we're going to experience tonight, but of course a little bit warmer temperatures with lots of sunshine, so be sure to take advantage of that as it's not going to last long. Across the region, we're going to experience some pretty average temperatures for the time. We're going to have 46 down in Ripley, 40 up in Columbus, 40 in Newark, and lots of sunshine across the entire region. Excuse me. And looking at our 7-day forecast, we're going to experience much warmer temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to have a high of 58 on Wednesday and a high of 62 on Thursday, but unfortunately it might be tough to enjoy that Thursday as it will be a 100% chance of rain and up to an inch of rain throughout the day and carrying it into the evening. Those temperatures are going to drop off on Friday, hitting 36 with a high of 45 on Saturday before reaching 52 on Sunday and 60 on Monday. The weekend's going to be very clear with lots of sunshine. It's really just that Thursday and Thursday evening that we have to get through with lots of rain. The lows are going to be pretty consistent throughout the entire week as well, with the low of 30 tonight but 47 tomorrow, so just an overall warmer next couple days. We'll be able to take advantage of those warm temperatures on Wednesday, however, before the rain comes on Thursday, as we'll have lots of sunshine. That's all I have for you right now, but back to Olivia.
Thank you, Cole. It's Valentine's Day, a holiday devoted to love and hearts. So it's a great time to focus on the health of your heart. Mandy Gaither has 5 things you should do right now to take care for your heart health.
Love is in the air, so what better time than now to show your heart a little love?
Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women in the United States.
Dr. Lakshmi Mehta, a cardiologist at The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, says there are 5 ways to jumpstart your heart health. First, if you smoke, quit. Second, develop a healthier lifestyle, which includes being active and eating a heart-healthy diet.
That is rich in nutrient foods with more fruits and vegetables and nuts and legumes, and you want to really reduce your saturated fats.
Third, know your number. See your doctor to find out your blood pressure, glucose, and cholesterol levels. If they're elevated, getting them under control is essential. Fourth, get plenty of sleep.
It can lead to heart failure, high blood pressure if you're not getting adequate sleep, and poor metabolism, but it also leads to fatigue and a non-productive day.
Finally, focus on your heart health by taking care of your mental health. Stress can raise your blood pressure, which can lead to heart disease. It can also cause a condition called broken heart syndrome, which may feel like a heart attack. Symptoms include chest pain and shortness of breath.
If you notice that something's different about yourself, that you're getting more short of breath, you're fatigued, you should seek immediate medical attention.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
People suffering from depression or anxiety can also put extra stress on their hearts because they tend to not take care of their health, which can also lead to poor lifestyle choices and potentially heart disease.
Coming up in sports, Ohio hockey had itself a tough final weekend at Bird Arena. Hear from the head coach later on. And right after the break, Ohio women's basketball looks to end its losing streak tonight at the Convo. That and more coming up next on Newswatch.
On American Experience, the story of 3 black diplomats.
The State Department had the well-deserved reputation of being extremely elitist, pale, male, and Yale.
Who broke racial barriers.
Fact of the matter was, they could never conceive that a black man could ever be an ambassador.
It is hard to do the work of America when you have been Jim Crowed by your own government.
The American Diplomat on American Experience.
Nearly 1,000 Negroes are marching through the center of Natchez.
Martin Luther King's approach did not work in Natchez, Mississippi. They met armed terror with armed resistance.
The Till Act held the promise that we might get to the bottom of some of these cases that had never been solved.
Seeing the bomb slaying of civil rights leader Wallace Jackson.
I relived this thing over and over again, hoping for some justice.
Premieres Tuesday, February 15th, 10, 9 Central, only on PBS.
Lace up those sneakers and hit the hardwood because Hardwood Heroes is back. Every Sunday night, we are bringing you the best basketball that the Tri-Valley Conference has to offer. Who will sit atop the TVC Ohio and TVC Hawking? Find out when you tune into WOUB Sunday nights at 11 and Monday nights at 6. And throughout the week, follow along on social media for scores, highlights, and more. We're excited to see you back on the courts, and as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.
This is the largest movement of living things on Earth. And every predator in these waters knows it. It's a mass migration of sardines. Why they gather is a mystery. But the result is a feast that will sustain an entire coastline of creatures.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Brian Kerp. Ohio women's basketball was on its longest losing streak in almost 2 years. The Bobcats' loss to Western Michigan Saturday was their 4th straight. A common theme in a losing streak is the opponent's three-point shooting. The Broncos drained 14 three-pointers in the game. Lauren Ross hit 7 of those. Ross finished the game with 37 points. The Bobcats continue to slide down the MAC standings. They are now in 9th. Keep in mind that the top 8 teams advance to the MAC tournament in 3 weeks. Now the Bobcats have an opportunity to get back in the win column again tonight. They welcome in Eastern Michigan, which is one of the 3 teams below them in the standings. The Eagles are on a 4-game skid of their own and have just 2 conference victories. This is the first and only meeting between Ohio and Eastern Michigan this season. The game was originally scheduled for January 2nd, but was rescheduled due to COVID issues. Tip-off is at the top of the hour. Ohio hockey has one weekend left in its regular season. Its home slate of games is complete. The Bobcats welcomed in Liberty to Bird Arena and dropped both battles. Ohio grabbed an early lead Friday, but 2 third-period goals by the Flames guided them to a 4-2 victory. Saturday's contest went to a shootout, but once again, the Flames reigned supreme, taking that one 4-3. Even with losses, Bird Arena was rocking on both nights. Head coach Lionel Marone says the crowd was important to the team all season long.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome weekend to play here. There's a packed rink, the band was here, there's a lot of energy in the building. It's our last home game series of the year. For a lot of our guys, it's the last in their career. If you can't get up for these games, I don't know when you're excited. So it was just about the opportunity to make everybody proud here.
Ohio wraps up its regular season this weekend at Illinois. Now, Lionel Marone returns to the Bobcats bench next season. According to a university news release, Marone's contract was extended for the 2022-2023 season. Marone took over for Cole Bell back in September after spending last season as a graduate assistant. The Bobcats have a 14-12-4 record under Marone. Ohio wrestling is also entering its final week of action. The Bobcats celebrated senior night Saturday in a match against Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Ohio dominated the Cougars to a 34-6 victory. Ohio won 8 of the 10 bouts, led by senior Alec Hagan at 149 and Jordan Slivka at 157. The Bobcats are now 5-2 in the MAC. Head coach Joel Greenlee says he is pleased with an overall team performance.
I could talk about every single guy. It was just an all-around good performance for us. Everybody wrestled tough. We wrestled hard 7 minutes, and that's kind of what our goal is.
Ohio wraps up the regular season Saturday against Buffalo. I'm Brian Kerp, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Andre.
Thanks so much, Brian. Sunday was a big night for LA Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson, who is now both a Super Bowl champion and a new dad. His wife Samaria went into labor in the middle of Super Bowl 56 while he was doing his best to beat the Cincinnati Bengals on the field. Jefferson posted a photo to his Instagram story after the big game, showing him cradling his newborn baby boy. His caption simply stated, quote, "2". That's a reference to the fact that he and his childhood sweetheart are also parents to their 5-year-old daughter, Bella.
Good evening once again. I'm forecaster Cole Patterson. Starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to have a bitter start to the day at 17 degrees before warming up quickly to hitting 27 at 10 a.m. and 34 at noon. We'll eventually reach a high of 43 tomorrow with lots of sunshine, continued into Wednesday with lots of sunshine and warmer conditions later on in the week. Across the region, we have very similar temperatures, 40 in Columbus, 40 in Newark, and 39 up in Cambridge, but a little bit warmer down to the south, 49 in Ironton, 45 in Jackson, 46 in Ripley, and 42 in Marietta. We're going to have clear conditions and lots of sunshine across the region, so no matter where you are, it's going to be overall pretty similar, with that key difference being a little bit cooler up to the north and a little bit warmer down to the south. Looking at this week ahead, like I said, we're going to have much warmer temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday, but that rain will ruin the opportunity to get outside on Thursday with a 100% chance, and the opportunity up to an inch of rain before cooling off on Friday when that rain leaves the region, having a high of 36 on Friday, a high of 45 on Saturday, before warming up again at the end of the weekend, hitting 52 on Sunday, and a high of 60 on Monday. So Monday's really going to be that day to get outside and enjoy some warm temperatures, enjoy some sunshine, which is pretty unusual for February. Hopefully that comes sooner than later as we get later in spring. We're going to have some lower temperatures throughout the week as well. 30 degrees is the low tonight, 47 is the low on Wednesday with a low of 37 on Monday. That's all for weather tonight. Back to the news desk.
Thanks, Cole. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Olivia Roman.
And for Cole Patterson and Brian Kerp, I'm Andre Norrells. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can always find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg, focusing on helping people achieve a life well lived with a custom strategy. Information at goldsberrywealth.com. Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA, SIPC. Support comes from Ohio University's Center for Campus and